For centuries, art has been a part of the human race, and we have always been fascinated in capturing the human body in an art form. Examples of this can be found through Venus of Willendorf, which one source dates its discovery back to 1908, 7th of August, which is my birthday, by the way. The famous Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, or a lesser-known Greek woman, painted by Ferdinand Victor Eugene Delacroix. Let us not forget the Marilyn Monroe painting by Andy Warhol, or Dio Brando from Hirohiko Araki's manga JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In the modern day, fictional women such as Lady Dimitrescu or Samsung's virtual assistant Sam have made waves on the internet, but a group of people have found a way to wear this form of art almost like a mask, and they have made a name for themselves on the internet. These individuals are known as VTubers. How's it going, my soldiers? Welcome back to another video. I am Sohuzi, and today we're going to do a video that's a little bit more different than how this channel used to be. See, we do gaming here, but it's not just about gaming. I am here to introduce a new form of video that I wanted to add into the channel, and I have actually been waiting to do a video like this for quite some time, and this is going to be an art video. So anyone who's interested in art, well, here's a video just for you. But other than that though, I decided to make this video a little bit more easier to understand and make sense. So today we are going to search up of VTubers. So not really search up, but make our own VTuber. Now on this website, Shinda Maker or Shindan Maker, I don't know. It's made by this guy. If you people know who this guy is, well, you know, and you know. Well, let's just leave it at that for now. But here we can be able to type in our own name if we want to, and be able to make our own VTuber just from the name. So let's be as accurate to the name as possible. And let's take a look here of what we get, shall we? So if we just click diagnose, and our VTuber is wow, a sleepy female cyclops with white ponytail hair and a large bust size. They are a Doujin artist. Well, that's pretty interesting. Okay then, well that's very nice. Alright, well then, let's hop on to Critter and draw this VTuber then, shall we? This has got to be interesting. Okay everyone, so as we're starting here, I'd like to make sure that you really understand something about when I start drawing, and it might actually help you while you're also drawing as well. So when I actually start drawing something, I decide to go onto the internet, maybe Pinterest, to go and look for some references. And these references help me decide on how the pose is going to be like. Now, you know, that's up to you, but I find it's very useful for when you're trying to draw something, you go and find reference for it, because you don't want to be drawing blind. So as you can or may see on the video, I start off with more of a kind of a line going across, and that's really to signify to me where the clavicle or the collarbone would be on the body, and also where the shoulders may be dropping from. And from there I draw a kind of upside down egg kind of shape, but I make the top of the shape flat. Now I don't really know why I do this, but that's just a part of my process, so yeah. And another thing you might want to make sure you keep in mind here is to kind of make two lines going down, and we'll just signify this as like the front line, and then there's the baseline. And the baseline is more of just to tell you where the whole character's body, which direction it would be going into. Now, if you're doing something like dynamic kind of pose, then this line could be going in any different kind of direction to more of just help you to know where the character should be kind of facing, or like turning or twisting. And then there's a front line, which is mostly just to help you know where each of the body parts may be facing then. But other than that though, from the front line, I am able to draw the kind of top half of the body facing the front line. And from there I do the midsection of the body, which is more of an oval kind of shape, and I start just drawing that, also following the front line. And from the front line, more of like around the middle of it, I also decide to draw kind of a triangular shape coming from it. Now that's going to like signify kind of like the waist, to, you know, eventually lead up to the legs. Now in this video I don't draw legs on my character, it mostly just ends around the waist, but you do see a little bit of the legs. But that's mostly something for another day, where I might draw legs on my character. But we move on, you know, onto the shoulders. Oh yeah, one more thing actually about those triangular shape. I make sure the width of the shape is more wider than the shoulders, especially for this character. We're making it sort of a female body, so we might want it to be a little bit more wider, so that is why I decided to draw it like that. And then we move on to the arms, which we draw two circles at the top of the top half of the body. That's to show both the shoulders and where the arms was going to start drawing, really. From there, we might want to do maybe like where the hands could be. And the thing about the hands, when you're drawing it, you might want to do kind of like I guess like a rectangle kind of shape. Or if it's like twisted, it's more of like an 8 kind of formation. Of how you would draw like an 8, or maybe the top half of it is a lot more bigger than the bottom half. Then you might want to like cover it up, as you see in the video. But a nice little trick that I like to do the arms is that I like to make a kind of line going forward from it. I draw the hand after the shoulder, and from there I kind of just draw a line leading from the shoulder to about where the hand would be. And from there I draw a line going down in the middle of it, and this is where the kind of elbows would be actually. And these elbows, this is how I can be able to do a character kind of folding in their arms, you know, and it's not like completely straight, it's just kind of folded basically. And that's basically how I would do arms like that. Now with the head of the character, you know, I like to also make sure that the front line and the baseline kind of connect to make the neck, and from there I can draw the head from a little bit over from the neck, and draw a line downwards the way that you would usually draw lines downwards for your head drawings. And from there I would just start drawing in the head, like kind of the eye section, the top half of the head, where it would just be kind of more of like a straight line going down, and then I'd do a curve for the cheek, and it would lead down close to the shoulders, but that would mostly signify the chin. Now I would then later on do the ears. And the ears, I draw them first because the ears would then lead down to the chin, the other half of the chin, where you can then draw in the other half of that chin, which would be very useful for you going forward. But yeah, another fun fact about heads when you're drawing it, Weirdly enough, the top half of your ear aligns with your eyebrows, so that's quite strange. And the bottom half of your ear kind of aligns with the top bit of your lip. So if you're ever drawing, just remember that it's a helpful kind of mapping. Can't really remember if I do something like that, but it's a nice way for you to know how far you want your the top half of your lip to go to, and your eyebrows to go to for your character. Just remember that kind of face mapping as well. Another weird thing, if you ever realize that the kind of size of your neck matches towards your nipple, actually. The top half of your neck kind of goes down to your nipple as well. But once again, that's just another one of those things that you do mapping. Now, something I'd like to really bring up here that I have seen on some of my friends have asked this question, and that is if drawing with a 3D model would be counted as cheating. I don't think, for one, it should count as cheating. I don't think it should count as cheating. It really doesn't make sense to me why anyone would count it as cheating, because it's art, you know? I think that using a 3D model would be able to help you better to understand of how the human body would work, maybe in a pose that you're trying to do, which just helps a lot more, basically. So, that's just what I would, tell those that are kind of asking that question of how you would do if it, using a 3D model is cheating. It's not cheating, it helps you a lot. And once again, it just helps you know the formation of the human body, so use it as a way to help you understand how you might want to form or pose your human character, or any kind of thing for that matter. Maybe they're human, like an alien or something like that, it doesn't matter. But that kind of thing helps. 3D models help, and they also save time, so just remember that. But I decided to more of search onto Pinterest and kind of find designs for VTubers and Cyclopses, also Cyclops girls from an anime. Because VTubers, they find kind of a lot of inspiration from anime, so that is where I decided to get my inspiration from when it comes to drawing this VTuber, which would be from anime Cyclops girls. So that is where I got it from. But moving on from that though, we will then also find a way of trying to connect all of these together, of course, and you might want to do some basic shapes here and there. Once again, I find it's very useful for you to go out and look at human bodies and do a bunch of sketches. Maybe if you're feeling kind of you're not very used to drawing just yet, do a little bit of some sketches, draw the outline of a couple of people. And from there, then just do a bunch of sketches, maybe their whole body and all that. I'd advise drawing 3 drawings where you just draw a character's outline, and then 3 drawings, sketches. You don't need to complete them or anything, but 3 sketches that just shows the body, the whole image itself, as loosely as possible. That kind of gets your arms and your hands a little bit more used to drawing, and you can just start drawing from there, which it helps a lot in terms of trying to get the body right. So it'll be a very good exercise for you to do. But anyways though, once you've done this kind of drawing, you want to make sure that all of this is what you want. Maybe you might want to change it around, but before you do any of the finalizing kind of sketches, just kind of decide on how you want to do that kind of drawing, how you want to make it look, and then just go in and kind of solidifying then all of the lines and connecting them all together, making sure all the shapes fit in. And I cannot stress this enough, make sure that you are using reference, because references help a lot. They are just a godsend, and it would help you throughout this drawing process as well. If you're ever drawing yourself, it's a useful thing to do. Many artists that you may know online, they most likely would use references as well. And also look at the human body. Study the human body. I would recommend looking at people who are kind of well toned, people who are worked out, a little bit muscle. That helps a lot when it comes to doing these kind of characters, because now you know where the muscle groups are. And I for one don't know all the muscle groups. I'm not really that interested in anatomy, but you learn a little bit of it, you learn some, and you use that in your drawings, and it helps quite a bit. So that is what I would advise to you guys. Maybe you don't want to do like whole lessons on doing anatomy, but this doing it this way certainly helps. And lastly, practice makes perfect. Not everyone is going to be perfect at doing this, but practice makes perfect. And that would mostly just be like you connecting all those different points together to make a character. That would be basically just now your rough sketch, and maybe like your finalizing kind of sketch, maybe how the character might look, all the clothes being on, and all that. And with that, once again, because you are doing more of the different features of the character this time, this might take you a while, drawing the eyes and nose, the mouth and all that. It might take you some time, but you'll eventually get there, so it's all good. As long as you just keep looking on the internet, searching up of how to do this, how to do that, drawing nose, drawing eyes. And one of the things I would advise is that you go and look at references from different shows that you like watching yourself. Maybe you're into anime. Go and watch some anime, look at your favorite anime. How do they design the characters, the shapes they may use in that series, and how do they also do the features of the characters? How do they do their eyes, their nose, their mouth, their fingers, all of that. A design like The Night Begins to Shine, Teen Titans Go would be a lot more different than something from Jujutsu Kaisen, which that is the kind of style that I want to follow as of these days and learn from, so I can eventually get used to that and come up with my own style. Just don't ever think that you need to figure out your own style as of right now. It's not a requirement. You don't need to do it straight away, especially if you are getting used to if you're just starting off. One of the things I would advise, maybe a lot of people might have told you this, but I've learned from Ethan Becker to not come out of your comfort zone just so quickly. Get used to what you know, keep drawing what you know, not like, the same thing, but maybe the way that you draw it, keep doing it just like that over and over again. Get used to it, strengthen your ability in it, and then maybe move on from there and start getting used to maybe other stuff. Now that's not going in like trying to come out of your comfort zone, that's more of you kind of stepping into a different kind of comfort zone. And there's many comfort zones that you can go into, and just keep practicing. That practice makes perfect for trying to make a perfect sketch, perfect drawing, different shapes being made there, and it just helps out a lot. Now, in terms of sketching and drawing, I would advise like a lot of people to go and check out different YouTube channels, because there's a bunch of YouTube channels where you can go and find a bunch of people sketching some ideas of how to draw. Also some of them that I follow on my Twitter. So once again, if you want to go onto my Twitter, you might want to look at the people I follow. Those are some of the people that help me understand of how to kind of sketch and how to understand different ways of drawing a character. One that I would definitely recommend is Ross Draws. Ethan Becker is one of them, is a definitely important person in helping me understand how to better draw something. So really that's about it. So let's just like move on here, because now we're going into more of like the finalizing kind of sketch here. and trying to get in all of the shapes. And with hair as well, by the way, with hair and all that stuff, you want to do basic shapes. You don't want to do anything of detail, just do basic shapes. And then eventually when you have the opportunity to, when you are in that state where you can do a little bit more detail, then go back in and draw some of the details of that hair. But that's later on, where you might start doing the sketch for like the finalizing sketch before you start doing fine lining and all that. Or maybe you're into painting. Once again, I don't really do a lot of paintings, digital paintings. I more of do them like line drawings, and so yeah. But once again, on screen, you might also find some of the pictures that I found on the internet to help me get a grasp of the kind of style that I want for the Cyclops VTuber that I'm gonna make, more of in her hair, of how I wanted that to be designed, and also in the clothes that she wears as well. Like, how is that going to look? And I'd advise for you guys to go and look at different drawings, different pictures, different styles before you start sketching and drawing and all that, because it helps a lot, and it's just very useful. And once you've done all of that sketching and finalizing, and then you eventually get to the fine lining bit, I'd then move on, just fine lining, which shouldn't be too difficult, though I say this, and fine lining is quite difficult for me to do. There's a lot of times when you might need to redo it over and over again so that you get it perfectly, but other than that though, so it's a good experience, a good way for you to get used to it. You need to get confidence in your lines, and once you have done that, you can then move on to kind of doing some color. But as of right now, focus more on the line art and trying to get some of the drawings right. At this point as well, something that I didn't do while I was drawing, and which I would advise for you guys to do as well, is kind of drawing and also flipping your canvas. Flipping your canvas helps a lot, because something you may not know that might help, which might be the reason why your drawings may not look as good as you want it to look. You don't flip the canvas maybe, and because you don't flip the canvas, you don't know how the other side looks. And like from maybe flipping your face on a picture, you don't look right on the other side. But fortunately, we are artists, and we can be able to do that. It doesn't matter, we're the ones making the drawings, so we can be able to make it perfect. So that is what we do. So we just make it perfect. We make sure both sides are nice and aligned, making sure everything fits in with each other and it's not looking weird. So make sure you just do that while you're drawing. Helps out a lot. And we'll move on to just showing you a little bit of the fine line, and then onto color. Now here comes the dreaded part of doing art, which is line work. And trust me guys, it may be feeling tedious and it's like you're doing the same thing over and over again, but I'm telling you right now, if you are able to practice a little bit with some sketching and trying to make sure that you can keep a stable arm, I'm telling you right now, doing line work is going to be so much more easier. And say, for example, if you do line work in your art, maybe you don't paint, it's a lot more better for you to just practice more on keeping a stable arm when you are doing line work. For when it comes to drawing on Krita, it's a lot more easier for people who do use Krita as well. I'm sure that other drawing programs also use this as well. But there is almost like a stabilizer kind of brush, instead of using freehand for whenever I'm doing line work, instead I usually just use a stabilizer instead, which keeps things slow and heavy so that I'm doing more cleaner lines. I use a fine liner brush to make sure everything is good, because the end of that brush is more narrow, so you're just able to kind of get more of a precise continuous line throughout your piece. So that is what I would advise, give some advice to anyone who is doing line work on a digital drawing, is to use something that has kind of a narrow end to it. Or maybe you don't want to do that, once again, it's all up to you if you want to do it like that, but that's the kind of way that I like to do it. And it's all about keeping your hands steady. So I just go around my whole character here, making sure that every bit of her is with line art. And when you're doing this as well, you're going to have to make sure that you've done all the final sketching that you wanted to do. You're not going to change anything else, because the line art bit is going to take a while and you want that to really just stick. Any kind of changes that you have made, or any kind of sketching that you have made, you want that to be final, you want that to be the last bit, so that when you've then done the line art for it, there's not going to be anything that you're changing. It's going to be quick, it's going to be easy, and you're just doing line art, and that's about it. Nothing else is really changing. So we're going to do a little bit of this line art right here, and then we're going to move on to doing some color testing as well. Now, after a long time of drawing, treat yourself to something to eat, some food. You need some time to relax while you are drawing. You don't want to have to burn out now. But a word from our sponsor of this video, my Twitter account. I'd like to bring everyone's attention to my Twitter account, as I just wanted to promote it and bring more people to come and follow, because really, I wouldn't be doing YouTube again if it wasn't for this Twitter account, which really showed me of just how much I love sharing things online. And there's going to be a lot of drawings on there, some animations on there, and my art station as well is very important to me. I want to put up some stuff that I'm very proud about. So if you guys ever have the time, if you click the link down in the description below, go and follow my Twitter account. And the most important thing you guys could do is just retweet some work from me, get more people to take a look at it, because I'm extremely proud of how this Twitter account has become. And it's become a lot more better than the last time when I did a Twitter account, where I didn't tweet anything out other than the videos I used to bring up. Other than that, though, there wasn't really anything there. But now there's a lot more stuff being put into this account, a lot more thought into it, and I just wanted to do well. Whereas this YouTube channel is more of like a hobby for me, the whole thing is really behind the Twitter account, and I want to bring anyone who is on YouTube to bring their attention to that, and just take a look at the Twitter account, go like some of my posts, go and retweet a bunch of stuff, because retweeting gets people that follow you to also go and see my work as well, which helps me to want to keep doing YouTube as well. So it's all a win-win. So remember, go down to the description, go and check out my Twitter account, go and take a look at the stuff that I have on there, because there's a bunch of drawing stuff, there's a bunch of game design stuff that you might enjoy, might like, and just go and take a look, retweet some stuff, and alright, yeah, so back on with the drawing video anyway. Okay, so now you have finally gone out of the line work phase. Now, what do you do next? Well, something that I like to do whenever I've now finished my line work is to kind of get into the colors. But how can I be able to get into the colors if I don't know what to put down? If you're someone like me, you probably don't know how to properly color something. Not as in you don't know how to put things into the lines, but you don't know of what color you want it to be. You have all these ideas, but you're not too sure if it would work well. Now, you could either just put them down as you think that you might put them down, or something that I would recommend is going onto a website called Color Lovers. And Color Lovers, you can find a multitude of different kind of color swatches, and I used this in college a lot actually, whenever I had to think of a kind of color palette for a game, and it really works well actually. So from there, I kind of thought that I should kind of pick out 3 colors from Color Lovers, and due to me looking through different kind of VTubers, I know that the theme that VTubers have is that they might have kind of some colors that kind of make them pop more, kind of make it show more kind of uniqueness in their designs, and the colors really show off the VTuber and how they look like. So I would say that colors really are important here when it comes to doing a VTuber. So when it came to that, I kept that in mind when I was trying to pick out the colors for my VTuber, and I looked at 3 colors which, you know, kind of matches, kind of looks nice. So I put them, downloaded them, and I started using it. And I mostly just took colors straight from there and added it on. Now, one of the other things that you might want to do with this kind of process is that if you have a character that might need a skin tone, maybe the colors that you picked out, one of them doesn't have a skin tone, like such as with one of the examples that I had, where 2 of the colors did have viable colors for me to use as a skin tone, but the rest, like the last one, didn't. So from there, I'll just say for you to just do whatever kind of guess of what you should add onto your character, whatever may look good. If you do want to learn more about color theory or just how to color things more properly, I would recommend going onto a YouTuber called Mark Brunnett YouTube channel. He has multiple different kind of he just has one video, I think, the whole process about using colors and the color theory, which would help not only in just drawing but also in just film, and if you're doing cinematography, it would help a lot there as well. He's also a concept artist at Blizzard, so you can definitely trust that he knows how to do at least concept art. He's very good at it. If you ever want any of his brushes, you can get them on free, actually. You can get them free on Cube Brush. You can get them on there. If you just go and search up on Cube Brush Mark Brunnett, and he has some free brushes on there for Photoshop and Clip Studio, of course. So just go and follow onto that website, and you might find some really good brushes there. I use that for my team's Prison Break game, for our cutscenes and all that. I did the art for the cutscenes of that game, and I used his brushes, which was really good, served me well, and I think it would serve you guys well as well. So really, it's just now about putting down the colors, seeing which ones go well, and I asked 3 people to come and take a look at the colors, and we all just agreed mostly on one kind of color scheme, which looked the nicest. So before we go on to the next part, which would be rendering this character, which one do you guys think looks the best? Which color scheme looks the best to you guys? Which one do you think looks the best? And just comment that down below and see if you're right, but which one would you want to color? Which one would you want the color to be instead? That is up to you, but when we have then picked the colors, we'll then solidify it, put it down cleanly onto the character, and from there move on to rendering. So I decided to go with the last option of the color schemes because number 3 was the one for me. But enough of the color schemes, as we've already now finished that part of the drawing. So let's now move on to the rendering bit, which really makes your drawing really come out, stand out as its own thing. So one thing that I like to do when it comes to rendering an image is that I usually use more of a kind of bluish tone. It's more of a bluish tone, and it's also kind of on the purple side as well of things, but it's like kind of bluish, and I found this technique from a Twitter artist that one uses the colors and also uses the kind of this other Twitter account that I found uses this technique, and it's pretty important to know of how I do this kind of shading technique. Basically, I would start off by putting down any kind of like shading anywhere. Sometimes I like to kind of assume of how some materials may look, so I shade them in that kind of material just to make it seem a little bit more realistic in a kind of way. But that is more of my kind of thing that I like to do. You don't need to do it, it's kind of an optional kind of thing, but something I like to do, and really makes a lot of things that I do pop out a lot more, is that I basically put down all of my shading with one layer. I just put it all down in any kind of way that I wanted to do it. I focus more on where light source could be, and then I kind of just do the shading from there. But I put down a shade in there, and I just basically go with that. So from that, I duplicate that layer, and the top layer I put it with a blending mode of burn, and I put the opacity down to about 80%. And with the second shading layer, which is more of a duplicate as well, it would more be a 20% opacity with a multiply blending mode. And when this is all finished, when I'm now done all that and changed all of that, I go over to the layer that has the burn, and I kind of like blend that more into it. So I kind of blend the edges so it has a soft edge, it kind of blends in with the lower bit. I don't do anything with the bottom bit, the multiply layer, because it's at 20% opacity. You're not really going to be able to see it that much, so softening it up doesn't make much of a difference. But that's basically the way I like to do my drawing, my rendering parts. And another thing that I like to do when it comes to lighting instead is I use more of a white, and I just put any place that I think that the white might look really nice, might be appropriate for it. And from there, I just put down the white. I put down the white just to show where the light is, and I put the blending mode to a soft light, which is an option on Critter. I don't know if it's an option anywhere else, but I know it's an option on Critter. So I would put down the white, put on a soft light, and that, instead of making the surface white on the character, instead the surface is going to be more of a lighter shade of the color that is already existing on there. So that is the reason why I like to do that. I also double up on that one as well, and add in another kind of feeling, another kind of blending mode onto that. But I'm not quite sure what that blending mode is. Maybe if you guys could see it on the video of the second blending mode that I put it onto, that would be the blending mode I put it onto. But right now I cannot remember, I don't have it on my notes here, but I do know I put a second kind of blending mode on that. From there I also soften up a little bit as well. I soften up the top part, any bit that is kind of more noticeable. I make sure that with stuff that is like the hair, I kind of put on a kind of hair texture brush on it, just so that it also still shows off the texture of the hair, while also giving it that shine that I wanted onto it. And I just put it anywhere. And when it comes to the highlights of the character, I more put that in any kind of like the edge of the character. I just put like a pink and the purple, the pink is on what would be your right side of the character, and the purple is on the left side, and that's going to be more of like using color dodge, or kind of like a glow kind of effect. But when I use color dodge, that would be more for the eye, where I would use color dodge, I would use a red color to more give it that kind of nice look to it. So that's mostly how I render out the character. So now, since we're done with that, let's take a look at the final results of the character then, shall we? And so it has been completed, the drawing for our VTuber Cyclops in all of her glory, fully rendered, shading, lighting, all that, as it fits with the description, sleepy Cyclops with a white head, ponytail kind of thing, and yeah, it all fits in really, just not the Dojin artist bit. Might draw her, like insinuating that she's drawing a Dojin, but that's not something that I'm rearing at, trying to go out to do myself. Might do it later, but as of right now, it's a Cyclops VTuber. So comment down below, what should I name her? Because I genuinely do not have a name for her, and this is a video for all of us. This is something that, once again, it isn't like a tutorial kind of video. It's just to inform you guys how I do my drawings. And once again, I mostly gain more of a better rendition of a character, like a more better drawing, doing it myself rather than a 3D drawing. But 3D drawings do help me a lot, just to get out and see how that would look like. But if you want to see the clear picture of this Cyclops VTuber right here, you can go onto my Twitter account and you can go and download the picture yourself, or you could go on my ArtStation account. You can download or see all of the different parts of the development of this character. You can see all the way from the sketching phase all the way to the final version of the character. And while you're there, also, if you have an ArtStation account, follow my ArtStation account, because this wouldn't be the last thing that I'm going to post on there. There's going to be way more stuff that I want to post on there eventually, some animations as well. But with all that being said, guys, this is the VTuber. This is what we wanted to make. This is how she looks like. I am proud of it. I hope you guys like her design as much as I do. And this is mostly just to show you guys where I'm at in terms of drawing, really, and how I do these things. So hopefully, along with you guys joining me on this trip, while we both try and get better at drawing and getting better at this whole artist kind of thing, because we all want to become better. If we are all doing art, we all want to do better at doing art, and that is really what these kind of videos are for. Not really for tutorials, but just to show the kind of things that I have learned as well, and try and put that into practice, as well as trying to maybe do an update on any kind of story that I want to try and start making as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and once again, as a reminder, this video is also to help and promote my Twitter account. So, make sure you go on there, follow that Twitter account, and just, support me through this, guys, because any support from you guys are great. It's thankful, honestly. I am thankful for you guys watching this video right here, because once again, this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and the fact that you guys are watching this right now means a lot to me. So make sure you like that, smash that like button, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you ring that bell so you're always staying up to date for when I upload, because that's what you want to do. You don't want to miss something. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, editing right now, it's been quite a difficulty, let me tell you, but I quite enjoyed it. I hope you guys also enjoyed this video as well, and really, once again, like, subscribe, ring that bell, share the video, tell more of your friends, share the video. If you want to If any of your friends are into art, tell them about this video. Go in and just tell them about the video. It means a lot. And make sure you guys stay safe, and I'll see you all on the flip side on the next video, I guess, which might be a gameplay video. I'm still thinking of the game. I'm thinking it might be Genshin Impact, to be honest. We'll just have to wait and see. But this has been quite a week of coming back to doing YouTube again. So hope you guys stay safe. Once again, smash that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, share the video. Same thing with my Twitter account. And stay safe. I'll see you guys on the flip side.